Part of the Cyberpsycho Sighting series handed out by fixer Regina Jones, this gig sends you to a construction yard near a Ripperdoc clinic in Rancho Coronado, Santo Domingo. It unlocks after completing the main job, the rescue, and you trigger it by just cruising through the area. Here is the background. A construction worker named Chase Coley has gone full cyberpsycho and is tearing the place apart in a full-blown mech exoskeleton. A guard tries to take cover behind a flipped car the moment you walk in. That guy doesn't last long. Now it's your turn. Chase is widely considered one of the toughest cyberpsychos in the game, thanks to that mech suit soaking up everything you throw at it. Once Chase is down, loot his body, grab a shard from the nearby soldier's corpse, and check the laptop inside the hut. Read all the shards, then shoot Regina a text with the intel to officially close the gig.
Si su vecino muestra señales de ciberpsicosis, no espere. Póngase en contacto con su agente de seguridad corporativa más cercano. Si 你发现邻居出现赛博精神病症状，请联系最近的公司安全官员。
Do you have a degree in engineering? Kang Tao wants to welcome you. We provide all our employees with basic health.
Hey, I heard about a massacre at a homeless camp. Send you the info I have so far, but it's pretty thin. You probably already gathered it's a cyberpsycho. Oh, and I prefer if he didn't die.
Another Regina Jones job, this one sends you to a grimy homeless camp tucked under a highway bridge in Arroyo, Santo Domingo. Like all Cyberpsycho sightings, it unlocks after finishing the rescue and triggers when you wander into the area. The Cyberpsycho here is Tamara Cosby, and unlike some of the other unhinged killing machines you face in this series, her story is actually kind of heartbreaking. Tamara isn't the most physically imposing Cyberpsycho you'll face, but she comes with company. 2 automated turrets mounted at the bridge wall that will absolutely shred you if you ignore them. Take those out first, Quickhacks work great here, and Tamara herself becomes a much more manageable fight. She carries a pistol and is a Netrunner, so she'll try to hack you from a distance with Overheat. The counter? Close the gap fast. Once you're in her face, she has to switch to her weapon and her Quickhacks stop flying. A shard found at the scene reveals she was desperately searching for her missing Valentino boyfriend, scanning gang haunts, sleeping in a bathtub so numb with cold she lost feeling in her fingers. Night City's particular brand of loneliness and obsession, it seems, pushed her over the edge. Vista del Rey is one of the sub-districts of Haywood, located in central Night City. After the Fourth Corporate War, this part of Night City turned into a combat zone. Most of the area was occupied by the old Little China and Japantown, though most of its original residents had already moved out to other parts of the city. During the 2007 years, Vista del Rey was the poorest sub-district of Haywood, and it was dramatically afflicted with poverty and violence. Many buildings and apartment blocks seemed run down, and gangs overrun this part of Night City, causing the streets to be less crowded and the older residents to pack up their things and leave. By 2077, the war between the Valentinos and 6th Street was intensifying, with Vista del Rey being more dangerous than ever. With all these problems, it was just a matter of time before the mega corporations decided to engineer a gentrification of the area for the good of the city. Regina Jones sends you to the Pacifica Pier in Coastview for this one. And honestly, the setting would be kind of peaceful if it weren't for the dead scabs, a wrecked car, and a rampaging cyberpsycho. Unlocks after completing the rescue and triggers when you roll through the area. Head up the pier and you'll find the target, Diego Ramirez, a former NCPD officer who's completely snapped. He's armed with a shotgun and can teleport around the area at speed, which makes him significantly more annoying than his firepower alone would suggest. Once Diego is down, loot his body for the shard titled Archived Conversations, Ken Masuda and Diego Ramirez. Then hunt down the second body near the center of the yellow search area, wearing red clothing. That one carries Archived Conversation, Hideyoshi Ueno, and Ken Masuda. Read both shards and text Regina to close it out. The Itsumade is a modified version of the Nazaré, a motorcycle manufactured by Arch. The Itsumade is a tuned Arc Nazar prominently used by the Tiger Gangs. A unique Itsumade belonged to a boss of the Claws until a woman named Josie Alazar stole it after the gang broke her grandson. Josie hid the tuned Itsumade in a garage somewhere in Watts. Unfortunately, Josie had been badly injured by the gang after stealing the vehicle and eventually bleed out in an alley, never having the chance to recover the stolen bike. Another Regina Jones Cyberpsycho job, this one tucked away in Cosby, Pacifica, just north of the Grand Imperial Mall, in a garage that's basically become a one-man Netrunner fortress. It requires completing the main job transmission to unlock, and triggers when you roll through the area. The name says it all. Lex Talionis is Latin for an eye for an eye. The Cyberpsycho here is Ben de Deon, also known online as Spaceboy_66, a Netrunner who went looking for payback and got way more than he bargained for. His computer tells the whole ugly story. He hired a fixer to help him scout the Grand Imperial Mall, tried to fry the guy afterward to avoid paying and leave no witnesses, except the fixer had defensive chrome and escaped. Then NetWatch showed up and nearly fried Ben in the net before he barely got out. By the time he holed up in his garage, his brain was already doing backflips from the stress and chrome overload. Cyberpsychosis did the rest.
Pacifica
Once he's down, search his computer at the back of the garage and read both the job offer and I'm in deep shit messages to get the full picture of what went down. That plus a foreclosure notice found on a nearby body paints the picture of a guy who was already losing everything before his chrome finished him off. Text Regina to wrap it up.
V.
How'd you describe Watson in one sentence?
The Japanese built Kabuki, but the Chinese lived there mostly. North side used to be plated in chrome. Now it's covered in rust. We have an entire aquarium full of corpos, and that's no metaphor. Know what all that comes out to?
One sentence is never enough?
That's Watson.
See you around.
Bye, V. Remember, the media lies.
The Glen is one of the sub-districts of Haywood, located in central Night City. During the rebuilding period of Night City around a decade after the Fourth Corporate War, the City Council struck a deal with the corporations to aid and fund Night City's reconstruction. That project included the Glen, which was planned as the new seat of power for the central government. The Glen's boundaries incorporated areas from South Night City, the University District, and Little Asia. Over the following years, the citizens of the wealthier parts of Old Haywood moved to South Night City and its surroundings, taking their old name with them and renaming the area to Haywood, which the Glen would eventually become part of. By 2077, the war between the Valentinos and 6th Street was intensifying, and firefights were starting to become common in the Glen as well. Now, in this Cyberpsycho job, Regina Jones sends you to a fenced-off auto shop area in Wellsprings, Haywood. And she's not kidding when she says she has a bad feeling about this one. This gig unlocks after the rescue and triggers when you wander into the district. The Cyberpsycho here is Gaston Phillips, and his story is one of the most relatable in the entire series, in a Night City kind of way. Gaston poured his life savings into buying a shop from Zetatech, didn't bother reading the fine print on the agreement, and got completely blindsided when the Corp repossessed the property without warning or appeal. A foreclosure notice on a corpse nearby, and a shard titled "Stop, Don't Do It," written as a bitter warning to anyone else thinking about buying from Zetatech, paint the full picture. The shop had already changed hands 3 times that year, with previous owners vanishing along with their debts. Gaston snapped, decided to fight back against the Corp, and the stress and chrome pushed him straight into cyberpsychosis. This is one of the more dangerous arenas in the entire Cyberpsycho series, purely because of the mine pool. The entire area is packed with both laser trip mines and proximity mines on the ground, walls, cars, and even the rooftop. One wrong step and you're flatlined before the boss fight even starts. Once he's down, search his body for the Stop Don't Do It shard, grab the foreclosure notice off the nearby corpse, and check the computer along the building wall. Read both messages, text Regina, done.
Suicide is a sword.
This one from Regina Jones takes you to a dark alleyway on Ferris Boulevard in downtown city center, and it's arguably the most atmospheric and lore-rich cyberpsycho sighting in the entire game. Unlocks after the rescue and triggers when you wander into the area. The cyberpsycho is Norio Akuhara, a former high-ranking Tiger Claw and Buddhist warrior who was genuinely one of the most skilled and disciplined fighters in his gang. He had a plan: save up, leave Night City, and start a new life with his girlfriend, Julia Lee. Then Julia died, followed shortly by his revered gang boss, Sota. Something broke in Norio. His doctor's shard tells you everything. Norio stopped taking his meds, convinced himself he'd found Zen and inner peace, then started conducting a Saki test on his own gang members, an ancient ritual where you attempt to sense an approaching kill. None of them passed. The bodies started piling up. His fellow Tiger Claws Shards on scene pieced together the dread. Gang members reporting a ghost-like presence stalking them in tunnels, vanishing without a trace, heads lopped clean off with a single katana strike. Hence, Phantom of Night City.
Don't make trouble. Be trouble. There's smoke. This is Christ.
Regina Jones sends you to a parking garage on Berkeley Ave in downtown, city center for this one, with a warning that whoever made the bodies scattered around is still lurking nearby. Unlocks after the rescue and triggers when you cruise through the downtown area. The tricky part? The garage entrance isn't obvious. You have to access it from the highway about 40 meters northwest of the quest marker, up some stairs and across a bridge before dropping down to find the entrance at the top. The Cyberpsycho here is Cedric Muller, a member of the Red Ochre Nomad clan, and his story is one of the most infuriating in the Cyberpsycho series because he's arguably the least at fault. Cedric and dozens of his clan mates were used as unwilling test subjects in Biotechnica's secret Project Nightingale, a covert research operation that poisoned the whole clan, collapsing their lungs and killing at least 70 members. In agony and desperate for neuroblockers to dull the pain, Cedric reached out to scavengers, Massacre, and Peter to score meds. But as the Shards reveal, those two weren't planning to help him. They decided he was already dead anyway and planned to carve out his implants for profit instead. That was the last straw. Cedric snapped, killed them both, and full cyberpsychosis took hold from there. He didn't start this. Night City just made sure he had nowhere left to go.
I really don't feel like this today. Show yourself.
V.
See you around.
Bye, V. Remember, the media lies.
I really don't feel like this today. Show yourself.
Scene like this, Counterplay.
Easy.
Hey, V, could you investigate something for me? Caught wind of a scuffle at the docks. Could be junkies, but this thing smells like a cyberpsycho flare-up to me. And I want to know if drugs played any part. A cold body's no good to check, so keep him alive.
One of the earlier Regina Jones Cyberpsycho jobs, this one drops you into a waterfront storage facility in Little China, Watson, unlocking right after the rescue, making it one of the first Cyberpsycho sightings you can encounter in the game. It's also one of the most relatable in terms of lore, because Alec's story is essentially Night City's version of chasing a dream and getting eaten alive by it. The Cyberpsycho is Alec Johnson, a guy who relocated to Night City with big ambitions, loaded up on Chrome to get a competitive edge, and was clearly writing hopeful messages home to someone named Blake, talking about titanium-reinforced bones, landing the next big gig, and finally building the life they both deserved. But underneath the optimism, the wheels were already coming off. The second shard, Glitter, is a warning message from someone who clearly cared about him, telling Alec to stop using glitter, a synthetic drug engineered to be near impossible to quit. The withdrawal pain was designed to resist standard meds, with the only real treatment being expensive paramotocol from a warehouse right there in Little China. It's a grim picture. A guy who came to Night City chasing a dream, got hooked on chrome and glitter to keep up with the competition, and ended up losing himself entirely before he ever landed the big job.
Well, darling. Where you off to? You're fucked now! You're fucked now! You think only you got problems? Let me fucking live. Horse shit.
Without question, the most atmospheric and uniquely structured Cyberpsycho sighting in the entire game, this one from Regina Jones sends you to a blood-soaked back alley in Northside Watson and plays out less like a boss fight and more like a crime scene investigation that summons a monster. This gig only activates at night between 8 p.m. and 5 a.m. If you show up during the day, the quest marker disappears entirely. You can skip time in the pause menu. Also requires completing
What in the
time
fuck?
first. The alley is an absolute massacre. Bodies, entrails, and blood splattered across walls and pooled under garbage bags. A dying Maelstrom cultist crawls towards you and expires before he can say anything coherent, leaving behind an encrypted shard that you need to crack to proceed. Read it. It speaks of a ritual to open the gates of the abyss by blending blood with the digital. Deeply unhinged Maelstrom mysticism at its finest.
You okay?
Lilith has concealed the 10th circle from the ancestors' eyes.
The hell is this?
Got a bad feeling, V.
Better look around. Oh shit.
Your spleen!
Move! Move! Take me! You fucking kill me!
Huh? Interesting.
V, something in Northside just erupted, and apparently it's got maelstromers hauling ass out of there. See what's going on exactly and let me know.
One of the more narratively tragic entries in the Cyberpsycho Sighting series, and a quieter, more grounded fight compared to most, 6 feet under, sends you hunting a former Valentino gang member named Lely Hine along an abandoned train yard in Northside, Watson. Regina's briefing practically writes the tragedy for you. Maelstrom, always needing fresh bodies for their ranks, started kidnapping members of rival gangs, in this case Valentino's, knocking them out cold and forcibly bolting on Maelstrom cyberware. No consent, no prep, no
interesting.
psych evaluation, just chrome shoved into someone who never asked for it. Predictably, it went catastrophically wrong. The cyberware installation destabilized Lely's mind, triggering full cyberpsychosis. He turned on the maelstrom responsible and has been coming apart ever since. What makes it gut punch level though is the farewell shard you loot off Lely after the fight. It's an unsent message written to his girlfriend Tamara. He talks about not recognizing himself anymore. Huge mechanical hands, red eyes, a face he barely registers in a reflection. He's not raging against the world. He's ashamed, confused, and quietly saying goodbye to the only person who mattered to him, convinced she'd be better off without him. It reads like a man who knows he's already gone. The kicker? Tamara Cosby is also one of the 17 cyberpsychos. She went cyberpsychotic herself while desperately searching for Lely after he disappeared. You fight her in Under the Bridge, Santo Domingo. Neither of them ever finds the other. Night City at its most miserable.
You feel that? Fuck yeah! I find anyone that...
Got word of a cyberpsycho attack, all confirmed. Even reported to Max Tech. Thing is, nobody's gonna show because Militech shut it right down. You ask me, Psycho's gotta be one of theirs. My eddies are on Lieutenant Mower. Anyway, Corporal's gonna go straight into treatment. So make very, very sure you keep her in one piece.
It looks like rain.
I'll rip out your spine! Ugh. Aim fucking steady! Oh, this can't be happening! Scare down your little shit!
Oh, come on!
We got him! Aim fucking steady! Scare down your little shit! Pain!
only Badlands entry in the Cyberpsycho Sighting series and one of the most thematically tragic ones in the whole collection. While most sightings drop you into Night City's urban chaos, House on a Hill takes you out to the rocky quiet of the eastern Badlands, to a fortified homestead where a man tried to build a fortress against the world and destroyed his own family in the process. Meet Russell Green, a man so consumed by fear of outside threats that he turned his home into a kill zone and his family into collateral damage. Russell was convinced the world was out to get him. He layered his compound with mines, turrets, drones, and surveillance. According to his wife Natasha's shard, Don't Come, which you find on her dead body outside the garage, he had been deteriorating long before the incident that pushed him over the edge. He laid fresh mines and forgot to tell her about them. She nearly stepped on one. She'd started to realize the house wasn't a sanctuary anymore. It was a trap, and she and their son were inside it. Russell's own shard, I Knew This Would Happen, found on his body, tells what finally broke him. He'd been rigging up a second-hand Netrunner chair to build his own eyes, convinced a net attack was inevitable. The chair was a consumer-grade TV accessory, nowhere near capable of what he was trying to do with it. A power surge fried the grid. The coils blew. When Natasha came to check on him, the malfunctioning security systems tore her apart. He blames her for not staying inside. He blames the shop he bought the chair from. His emails to the seller, readable on his garage computer, are a special kind of unhinged. He blames everyone except himself. The ice was supposed to be the final piece of protection. He was this close to being safe, he writes, if only they'd listen. The Shards title says everything. I knew this would happen. He believed he was always right about the danger. What he couldn't see was that he was the danger.
truck hauling cyberware crashed in the Badlands. It's top-grade chrome, but the NCPD's not in much of a hurry. Tells me they suspect the Cyberpsychos the cause, and it's got them spooked. Check it out, but no killing if you can help it.
One of only 2 Cyberpsycho sightings set entirely in the Badlands, and the one that hits hardest if you've been following the Panam or Aldecaldo storyline, the Wasteland sends you across the dust and scrub of Rocky Ridge in the eastern Badlands on a blood trail that ends with one of the series' most mechanically unique fights, a full mech exoskeleton boss in the middle of the open desert. The Shard, an archive conversation between 2 Raffin Shiv members using the handle Shiv for the win and Raffin_Fever, is a brief, cold exchange that sums up everything wrong with the Wasteland in about 6 lines. Shiv 4, the win, thinks the whole thing is pointless and wants out. The stench of blood is already getting to him. Raffin_Fever has a better idea. He's heard that the Aldecaldos have a talent for finding deep water reservoirs in the desert. He wants to strap Euralio to the front of their car and use him as a living dowsing rod, force him to dig. The plan has a casual, offhand cruelty to it. They're not even treating him like a threat to be neutralized, just a tool to be used until he breaks. Whatever the Raffin Shiv put Euralio through before he snapped, it was enough to push him into full cyberpsychosis and into the mech he's now piloting. The second Shard, archive conversations Sol Bright and Emilia Weiss, found in a blue container back at the crash site, adds a separate but connected layer. It's a corporate exchange between a Biotechnica rep and someone named Sol Bright, not the Aldecaldo Sol, a different character, discussing missing cyberware cargo lost on Aldecaldo turf and probing the cost of hiring someone to recover it. The Biotechnica rep is building a secret research center in the Badlands and needs discretion. It's a background thread that quietly implies the crashed cyberware truck isn't just a random accident. There are corporate interests operating in the Wasteland that the Aldecaldos are caught between. Second Chances is set in the wind farms of Rocky Ridge, eastern Badlands, wide open scrubland dotted with towering turbines. It's one of the loneliest looking locations in the entire game, which is a perfect backdrop for the story it's telling. Zion Wilde is an aging Unification War veteran, a solo who had been doing mercenary work in Night City long past his prime. The shard you find on his body, I have seen the light, is written as an open letter to his old brothers in arms, many of whom are apparently drifting through Night City, broke and aimless. He's writing to tell them he found his purpose. The story he tells in the shard goes like this. He got hired by the Voodoo Boys for what seemed like a dead simple recon job. For an old merc like him, it was nothing. Point, shoot, confirm completion, routine. But then instead of his payment coming through, something else happened entirely. An effervescent light filled his vision. Standing before him was what he describes as the guardian of the border between the living and the dead. He believed completely and totally that he had witnessed the Loa, the gods of voodoo religion, and that he had been chosen, tested, and given a second chance at life and meaning. What actually happened, and the wiki is fairly explicit about this, is that the Voodoo Boys hacked him. The whole job was bait. They used him to get something done and then fried his implants on the way out, leaving him with severely damaged cyberware and a shattered mind. The divine vision was almost certainly a glitch in his failing neural interface. But Zion doesn't know that, or can't process it. The VDB hack pushed him into full cyberpsychosis, and cyberpsychosis distorted his interpretation of what happened into a religious awakening. Now he's out in the Badlands, convinced he's been chosen by the Loa, and the way he's opening the path to the sacred land is by conducting ritual assassinations of Ravenshiv Wraith members as tributes to the gods. The Wraiths sent multiple teams to take him out. He killed them all. His body count kept climbing. Word eventually reached Regina Jones, and now it reaches V. The title Second Chances lands differently once you have all of this. Wilde genuinely believes he was given one. The VDB gave him nothing of the sort. They used him up, broke his mind, and left him in the desert to die slow or die violent. The second chance he experienced was manufactured suffering dressed up as grace.
Who would have thought? Ugh! Oh, fudge. Yeah. Better not miss anything.
in need. Wants to snatch back an eye he lost playing cards. An implant, I mean.
Exactly, no.
Should be some easy breezy eds. You in? Catch the deets attached.
Chances to score are next to none.
How though? Chance is always the same.
Thanks a lot. You don't look like your typical Chinese chef.
And you don't look like a typical fucking customer. You got a problem?
Save yourself! Fucking crazy!
Okay, I have money.
Get out of luck!
I'll skin you to the bone!
What you doing?